say as to what went wrong, and trust me, things definitely did go wrong. But yeah, we're back now, and I am feeling, I would say, about 80% okay. I'm still not 100%. Still definitely could do with a bit of a sleep and to try and get myself 100%, but we're good enough to be streaming. So yeah, it's good to be back, good to be here doing this with you guys. And what we'll do is we'll run down the cards, and then we'll jump into people's thoughts and comments, because I'm sure people have got plenty of stuff that they want to talk about, what with us not doing a Raw stream. So we've got Roxanne Perez defending the NXT Women's Championship against Thea Hale. Obviously, we're expecting Roxanne to retain. I do wonder if we might see Stephanie Vacour, only because Julia is not going to be around for a little bit, so she's got a few more shows apparently to do. So I'm not expecting Julia here, but I wonder if we could get Stephanie Vacour, who's already competed in WWE, and we know she's going to the NXT brand. Then we've got Joe Hendry doing a live concert in NXT. We've got Alba and Isla coming to NXT to defend their women's tag titles against Lash and Jakara. So we've got that happening. We got Tony D'Angelo. He is defending his NXT Heritage Cup against Tavian Heights. Don't really know loads about Tavian Heights, to be honest. Not someone that we've seen loads of, but I'm quite interested to see what he can bring, and if this match can deliver. It's definitely a good showcase for him. So yeah, looking forward to that one. And then, of course, we got Carmen Petrovich, Sol Ruka, Lola Vice teaming up to take Garn, JC Jane, Jasmine Nix, and Fallon Henley. So we got a 6-woman tag match as well, and that is what's going down tonight. I think there is a Ethan Page match, but I think that's next week, because Great American Bash actually runs for this week and next week. I was going to change the thumbnail to say Great American Bash, but I just couldn't find a really good graphic for it. A lot of them have got like wrestlers on as well, and like I couldn't get it to look quite right, so I was a bit disappointed that I couldn't get that set up. But either way, we are here now, and as we said, we are ready for what promises to be a really fun, different, special episode of NXT. Let me open up this. Ashma, shout out to you, my friend, says feels good to see you back again live. Daze, feels good to be back live, my friend. Yeah, I was talking about it for those that didn't see Unseen. I went out last night with family. Carl and Dawn said, can't handle your alcohol, you boomer. It's true. I went out with family, and yeah, I just had too much to drink, and ended up throwing up 5 times. So I threw up at 2 different train stations. I threw up as my brother was driving me back, although thankfully not in the car. He pulled over. And then I threw up twice when I got home. So I was in a horrific state. So whilst Raw was on, I was either throwing up or I was trying to get to sleep because the room was flipping spinning. There was people saying like, oh, it'd be so good to see like a Drunk Daze stream. And it's like, no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. Because unless you want to just laugh at my condition, which would have been absolutely understandable and fine, there ain't no way that I was going to be making any kind of cohesive comments. It would have been 3 hours of me sat here kind of head in my hands, borderline falling asleep, going, oh god, I think I'm going to be sick, you know. It would have been that for 3 hours. It would not have been. Maybe some people would have found that entertaining, but yeah, I've just tried to, you know, rest and get myself back. So as I said, about 80% right now. So, but yeah, it's not the way it was meant to go. It's just meant to go for a few drinks. But you know what it's like sometimes when you go out, and certainly when it's family that you don't see. I only tend to see them like once a year at Christmas. So yeah, that's kind of where it all went wrong. But we're back, baby. We are back. What was drinks? Was it beers and spirits? Said Tiny Tails. Well, to be honest, my cousin is a borderline alcoholic, right? My cousin is someone that like drinks every day, drinks when he gets home. Like, he's a big drinker, and I can't match him. Like, he drinks way more than I can drink. But I've been on nights out with him where I've kind of held my own. I'm still going to be sick, but like, I'll still hang in with him, but I know that I'm going to get trashed. Well, I was out with him and my other cousin, and it was just one of those where like they would bring you a beer, and then my other cousin would bring me like a shot of whiskey as well. And so you're like, okay, you know, you drink those and you're like, I need to pace myself here. You kind of know I can't keep this up all night. And so it's just loads of beers. There was whiskeys. There was these things that are called baby Guinnesses. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but it's like a coffee liqueur. And then on top is Baileys, like an Irish cream. And when you actually combine them together, it looks like a little baby Guinness. So they're called baby Guinnesses. They do them in Wetherspoons. So there was like a few rounds of those. I reckon I must have had about 8 pints, couple of whiskeys, vodka and Monster. I wanted vodka Red Bull to wake me up, and they said we ain't got no Red Bull. So I had Monster and vodka, and then there was a few rounds of these baby Guinnesses. I was done. I was gone. I mean, it's good actually that I probably threw up so much, because it means it got out my system. So I think that helped my recovery. Had I have not done that, there's no way you would have gotten unseen earlier. In fact, I don't even know if I would have watched Raw by now, but one of the things I did this morning was watch Raw. I actually had my thing up so I could record my reactions, but to be honest, most of the time I was just sort of sat silently watching it. Obviously, when it got to a Wyatt 6 moment, I sort of knew, okay, this is going to be interesting, so that's when I started to like talk about what I was seeing. Those clips are up, so you can see my honest live thoughts, reaction, as if I was doing a stream to the Wyatt 6 moment and to the Wyatt 6 vignette as well, the Dexter one. So both of those have gone on TikTok and gone onto Instagram. Unfortunately, I can't put them onto YouTube because it's got the footage included, and that, you know, you just get copyright strikes, so I can't put them up on YouTube. And I can't really put them up on Twitter because you can only share videos that are like 2 minutes, 20 seconds in length. Both of these clocked in at about 4 minutes each. So I couldn't even put them on Twitter, but I think they did go on Facebook as well, actually. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, that's where they went. So my honest live reaction thoughts to those segments. And then, of course, we did an unseen, got it on here. And then the rest of the day, I've just been trying to get myself ready for this stream, really. So, yeah, that's been my day. But it's lovely to be back. Patrick O'Burrin said, hello from Ireland. Hope you are doing... How are you doing, lads? Well, I've been better, but I'm all right. It's enough time now whereby I'm well on the road to recovery. Corey said, you just yeeted everywhere. Oh, mate, it was the worst. Do you know, the first bit, like, when I was sick in the first train station, that was fine. The second train station was probably the worst, because I got off the train and I knew I was going to be sick, right? So I was like, okay, I need to be sick. I need to be sick in like the bushes or something. But there was loads of people around me. So I was like, oh God, I need to slow down so that the other people move away. So I was kind of like walking slow. It took ages for people to like drift away and like go away. And by the time they'd gone, I was already halfway up a staircase. So I was like I was raised. And like, fortunately, the one side of the staircase was the platform. The other side was just a load of bushes and like plants and stuff. So I ended up just throwing up over that side. But like, it became a bit more visible than I want. You know, I wanted to discreetly be sick, like ground level. Instead, by the time everyone had drifted away, I don't know. Listen, you don't make a lot of sense when you're drunk. Why I didn't just stop and stand still on the platform, I can't answer that. The first thought, you know, problem solving. When you're trying to solve a problem when you're drunk, it's quite difficult. You know, we've all seen people that are drunk trying to put their door key in the door and they can't quite get the door key in. I mean, like, your brain just doesn't work the same way. So in my mind, I was like, okay, I'll slowly walk and allow people to, like, drift away. And by the time they left me, I was on this staircase, which meant then I was throwing up over the side and it was a little bit more public, a little bit more visible than I wanted it to be. But I didn't care, to be honest. I didn't care. It was happening. There was no way it was not happening. So yeah. And then, as I said, like, ended up being sick when I got back as well. I don't have great hangovers, in all fairness. I get pretty bad. I'm always sick. If ever I like have a really big night out, I'm always throwing up. I know people that just don't get any. They don't throw up. They don't get hangovers. I'm so jealous of those people. But listen, if you do the crime, you do the time, and I would much rather go out and, you know, be drinking and be joining in and then, you know, pay for it than, you know, go, oh, sorry, no, I'll just have a Coke or something like that. Like, nah, I'll join in and I'll pay the price. But unfortunately, it just happened to be on a night where it was Raw, which was very frustrating, to be honest. Not a night I would have chose to have gone out, but I was meant to be at the cricket. And then the cricket wasn't on. So my family were like, well, what should we do instead? And so that's why it turned into what it turned into. Had the cricket have been on, we would have just gone to the cricket and it wouldn't have become a big session. But it turned into a big session. Ray said, glad to see you're not too steamed or drunk, says Ray. Yeah, I'm in a better place now, buds. I'm in a better place now. Daze, how was last night? Was it fun? We didn't have fun. You abandoned us, just like Metal Mama. Yeah, it was good night. It was good. It was, as you said, you know, just catching up with family and whatever. So it was nice. But I mean, even as I was sat in the pub, I knew at about, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night, about an hour before we normally start our stream. I knew, I was like, there's just no way. I mean, first of all, there's no way I'm going to be getting back at the time the stream is scheduled, but there's just no way I'm in any condition either. So I did put a message on Twitter. I know not everyone follows me on Twitter, or not everyone has Twitter, so there'll be a few people watching this that never got that message. But I did put a message up on Twitter. And actually, when I woke up today, I was like, oh my God, I don't know. I can't remember what I wrote, but please, I hope it made sense. I was like, I hope it made sense. So I reread it, like, really worried that I'd, like, just been load of nonsense. It was really coherent. I was really impressed. When I read it back this morning, I was like, damn, I'm actually really good when I'm drunk at putting out messages. I was like, guys, stream's cancelled because I'm drunk with a capital D. Which was the truth. So I was quite impressed with how coherent I was in that moment. So JP Ville said, I used to puke drinking all the time, but I'm 6 months sober now. Well, congrats, buds. Congrats. I respect that a lot. I definitely I think it's different, obviously, if you are someone that's trying to stay, like, sober. For me, I don't go out that often. You know, I stream all the time. So for me, if I'm going out, that's why I don't want to be just drinking, like, soft drinks and whatever. You know, I'm going to have a nice drink. I'm going to go out. I'm going to have a drink. And but yeah, I mean, I don't regret it. I just wish that there was a way that I could have done that and streamed. I wish there was a way. Oh, well, to be honest, I just wish it wasn't on a Monday. If it had been on a Wednesday or a Thursday, you know, that would have been a lot better. But it's just the way it fell. So, but listen, there's no more nights out planned for the foreseeable future. No reason to miss any streams going forwards. So all of that is done now. But yeah, I appreciate everyone's support and appreciate all the kind messages. People going, don't worry about it. You know, these things happen. And yeah, you know, I'm on the road to recovery. James said, if you go to a pub and have a Coke, you might as well stay at home. Yeah, I just, and certainly with my cousins as well. I mean, as I said, they're big drinkers and they love, I don't know, when you go out with people that you're, like, really close to, they love to get you a beer in and everything, you know, and it's like, they just bring them. It's not really even a question, really. You know, they'll just go to the bar, buy another one, boom, and before you know it, they're starting to like pile up. It's not an easy situation to control sometimes, but it is what it is. WrestleMania said, Daze, you need to film it next time and edit it like the photos they reveal at the end of the movie, The Hangover. Just showing like how the night kind of played out. Yeah, I mean, I have got a few pictures of me and my cousins and whatever, but nothing. No, it's just us, like, you know, smiling. There's nothing like me throwing up or anything like that. So yeah, it was really funny actually, because I was fine until the second my family left. As soon as my cousins went, I really feel like my body subconsciously was like, okay, hold it together. You're all right. Hold it together. Everything's fine. And then as soon as my cousins left, my family went, and it was just me, and my dad was there actually. As soon as it was just me and my dad, my body went, right, you're paying for this now. It was like the very second. It must have been on a subconscious level where I didn't want to come across like I was trashed in front of them. But the second they went, my body was like, right, you're paying now. And then that was it. I was not in a great place then. Brony said there was about 200 people here when you weren't streaming. Yeah, we've got a great community, but it's so appreciated. I mean, I wanted to get that message out. I would have deleted the stream so that people didn't like hang around waiting for it to start. But the problem is, I'm not aware of how you can do that. I don't want to say you can't do it, because someone might go, no, actually you can. But I'm not aware as to how you can delete a stream that you've set up on your phone. Like, every time I need to delete a stream or do something like that, I have to do it on my PC. So me being out in Birmingham, only having my phone, I was, you know, and being drunk, I was like pressing the thing, trying to figure out how do I delete the stream so that people aren't just hanging around waiting for it to start. I couldn't do it. So I was like, well, I'll put a message on Twitter then. You know, now in the cold light of day, you go, well, why didn't you just put a message in the stream as well and try and pin that so that people could see it in the chat? I don't have an answer for that. I wasn't thinking. Right, in my mind, I put a message out. I put it on Twitter. Okay, that's that. People all know. In my mind, I kind of thought, well, you know, the William Hences of the world, the James Chadwicks of the world, you know, the Dork Knights of the world. Those kinds of people will have seen it, and I'm sure they'll spread the word for me. So in my mind, like it was that. But yeah, you know, it's one of those. We move on, and we move on to NXT. Other than the Wyatt stuff, you didn't really miss anything huge, said Carlos. Yeah, I did watch Raw, and I thought it was not bad, actually, for a go-home show. I think the in-ring is still below where you would like to see it, although I did think that Sheamus and Big Bronson Reed had some really good moments to it. I also thought that the main event had some really good moments to it as well. Like Gunther, Finn Balor, I thought really, you know, I can't say that it was as good as a like premium live event Gunther match. But I thought that it delivered. I thought that it was, you know, good. The Wyatt 6 moment, I was just talking about it with Tommy Toy Travels, and he made a really good point, actually. He said that the mask reveal was a bit underwhelming because we already knew who it was. And I do sort of agree in the sense of, I think it would have been good if we hadn't have seen Dexter with the cross on his head, you know, and then he revealed it and we saw that. And maybe if Rowan had something on his face, or Gacy, or I don't know. I feel like when you took the masks off, because we know who it was, and not only that, we've seen who it is in the interviews. It's only Joe Gacy that's not had one. I kind of feel like it was a cool moment, and I liked it, but I do also agree that, you know, could you have made that a bit bigger? Could there have been something that would have made that a real OMG moment, like a moment that we would talk about for a long time? Because I don't know that we'll talk about them taking the masks off for a long time. I feel like it's a talking point. I thought it was done well, but I do agree that it probably was just missing a little something, because we knew who it was and we've sort of seen their faces already. So there wasn't really any reveal. There wasn't really any surprise. There wasn't really anything that we learned, apart from they will wrestle without the masks, but I think we knew that anyway, right? A lot of people are like, oh, how are they going to wrestle with the masks on? The haters, yeah? And we've said that I'm pretty sure they'll take them off. You can't wrestle in that big rabbit mask. You can't wrestle in that Mercy mask. Maybe the Huskus one, but I'm not sure. So, you know, we got development there. People can see now what they're going to wrestle as and what they're going to look like. I do like Dexter's look. I think his look is really good. And the cross on the head has really got people talking. In fact, I did a poll earlier where I asked the question, who do you think is the inspiration for the cross on the head? Who do you think has inspired that? We've had nearly 500 votes, and I can tell you that in third place is Charles Manson, right? The serial killer, Manson family guy. Charles Manson, 15%. 27% Kevin Sullivan, the wrestler, of course. But in number one, by quite a margin, 45% people have said Rob Zombie. So people have said Rob Zombie is the inspiration, or they feel is the inspiration for Dexter's look, which I can go with. I think that's, I mean, look, it might not be one answer. It might be a few, actually. But I really do like the look. I thought his interview was good. Him saying run as well. I couldn't quite tell in the moment if it was him or if it was Howdy. But I believe people seem to be of the impression it was him that said it. I thought that was impactful. I wouldn't have him talk much. If he is now going to start talking, I would still keep it super, super limited to like just the odd word. But yeah, I mean, that was a moment hearing him kind of say that. The look was good. I don't know who watched and let him drown. I don't know if that is meant to be like Indy and Johnny and Candice, or is it creative? Is it Triple H? Is it the producers? Is it Adam Pearce that didn't have anything for him and they just watched as he struggled? I'm not sure as to who they're referring to, who watched him drown, who's the enemy when it comes to Dexter Lumis. I'm not sure on that. The Pluto thing as well, as I said in Unseen, I just don't think it means anything personally. And there's a lot of theories of, oh my god, are they going to be recruiting Dakota Kai and all this kind of stuff? Yeah, Dakota turned on Bailey. They're going after people that turn on their family and all this kind of stuff. I just don't think that. For me personally, I think that Pluto sign, I've seen it before. And I feel like it was the exact same one. And I feel like it is drawn onto something backstage. And I think it shows up once in a while, and it just so happens to show up behind Damage Control this week. And fast forward in a few weeks' time, it might pop up again behind someone else. But I don't know that means this is who they're going after. I really think that it's drawn on an item backstage that gets used on a regular basis. And I am 99.9% certain I've seen that exact Pluto symbol before behind someone else backstage, which is what makes me think that it's just going to keep popping up and it's not actually a sign that they're going after certain people. I mean, look, it's still something to keep an eye on. It's still something to talk about and theorize over, and I could absolutely be incorrect on that. But Damage Control, it doesn't make sense to me why you would go after Damage Control, because we've only got the one female, that's Nikki. If it's Dakota, just Dakota, then okay, maybe you could do something there, but I don't know why you would go after Dakota. Some people have said, what if they're going to try and recruit Dakota? But Dakota doesn't feel like she fits in Wyatt 6 for me. If we're going to go after Dakota, it feels like we're going to target Dakota. And as I said, I'm 99% certain I've seen that Pluto symbol before, so I ain't really buying that, to be honest, at the moment, but I am open-minded. I am keeping an eye on it, and there is every chance that it does mean something. So, but my initial reaction was, nah, I don't think that means anything. So, but I mean, look, we go through this, and we go through a lot of stuff in Unseen. I really thought Unseen today was really good. I know I say that often, but there was so much, like, did you notice this? Did you look at this? Did you see the Pluto symbol? Did you see the praying hands? Did you see that Finn Balor wasn't vandalized on the Judgment Day thing? Did you see people talk about the Pluto symbols that might have been on that seat? There was a lot of kind of this happened, that happened, blah blah blah. Like it was good. By the time I'd finished the episode and I'd gone through my notifications, I had, you know, a good chunk of stuff to talk about. And even though, I mean, I don't know how I come across in that video, but I was probably feeling about 60% when that video was recorded. But I feel much better now. I'm about 80-something% now. But I just had to do it. There was too much stuff to talk about. So I did think that was quite good. I haven't had a chance to do the opinions video because I just haven't had time to do it. I've kept going back to bed. Just keep getting like a few hours here or there. Just desperately trying to get myself into some sort of condition for this stream. And I think I'll still do them. I might do them tonight rather than do an NXT one, because the NXT ones don't really get much views, to be honest. People don't really care, if I'm being honest. When it comes to the NXT kind of thoughts and opinions, they tend to perform the worst. So I think what I'll do is I'll do the Raw ones tonight, but I think what we'll do tomorrow is your SummerSlam predictions. I want your thoughts about SummerSlam. So keep an eye peeled for tomorrow, because I will ask for your SummerSlam predictions, and then we'll go down and see what everyone's saying. My SummerSlam predictions are up. They've been up for a few days over on the second channel. Again, all opinion videos, prediction videos, review videos. That's where they live. This channel is the live streams, the Wyatt 6 stuff, the Unseen stuff, and really like toy hunts as well, and kind of anything else that we need goes here, but all the review stuff and the opinion stuff goes over there. So, and I think it works really well. I'm really pleased with how it's all kind of fallen in place this year. Loopy Girl, shout out to you, said I hope you're feeling better, Daze. I am, but I'm feeling a lot better. I'm in a much better place, and ready actually for a bit of wrestling action. I mean, it was weird watching Raw without like chatting away with you guys. I didn't enjoy it as much, to be honest. It was weird. I mean, like, I kind of watched the show. I was like, yeah, that was all right. But there was lots of parts of it where, I mean, for example, the first 10 minutes of the show was pretty much just entrances. It was like Seth came out and he said a few words, but he didn't say much. Then CM Punk came out, and then Drew came out. And it really dawned on me, like, how much of the show is just entrances and obviously commercials. So, you know, I did find myself just sort of sitting and waiting, really, to just get through the entrances, get through the commercials. I mean, thankfully, you can fast forward through the commercials. I could fast forward through the entrances, but I didn't want to miss anything. But I think it really struck me how much filler there is. Entrances are important because they make the stars feel big, right? They make the stars feel huge. Like they really make them feel like, you know, when Seth comes out, the whole place is going bananas. I mean, that just makes him seem like the biggest superstar in the world. So, you know, these entrances and the presentation, like, they're really important. So it's not that they're not important, but when you've seen like the entrance so many times, you don't necessarily need to see the full entrance again. And for me personally, I was just sort of like, okay, yeah, come on. It was because I wasn't talking with you guys and chatting about things and filling that time like we normally would. It really struck me how much stuff on the show is just really skippable. Really skippable. The actual bits that you probably care about might amount to about an hour, but the rest of it is adverts and entrances and stuff which just is not don't need to know really. So that struck me really quite hard watching this morning. So yeah, watching without having you guys to talk to was definitely made it a worse experience. But yeah, good to be back though. Edward said, how are you tonight? Hope all is well. Hope your night was good. All good, buds. Edward, shout out to you. Steven said, did you notice the word liars in the Judgment Day room and the XX on Dom's eyes? It was like in the Funhouse. Matthew said, have you had a decent meal, says Matthew. Yeah, so when I got up this morning, I had some toast. And that was like, oh God, I hope I keep this down. So I had the toast and that was fine. And then I just had some plain pasta and some plain chicken. That's it. Plain pasta, plain chicken, boring, dull, bland, but just what I needed. And yeah, I mean, I kind of starting to feel a bit hungry again. So I might just have a bit more plain pasta, to be honest. I'm not in a mood for like flavor. I just need some back into my body that's not gonna cause any disruptions. So yeah, no, good, all good. Undercover Manager said, thought on Mania in London. How about doing it in Hyde Park instead of a stadium? You could get 150 to 200,000 people if they did it right, and it could have food vendors, beer tents, and all of that. I don't know, to be honest. That might be difficult. I don't really know the infrastructure. I mean, all I would say is you're going to need to build a stadium. Even if it's like temporary stands, there's still an expense there. I don't know who's going to pay for that expense of like doing all of that. WWE aren't going to want to pay for that. So I'd imagine it would be London that would pay for that. And of course, London's probably already paying for WrestleMania to come to London. So I can't imagine that it wants to pay for WrestleMania to come to London and then pay to build a temporary stadium when we've already got stadiums. And then you've got to look at like parking and like where is 150,000, 200,000 people going to, you know, how are they going to park? How do you transport that many people? I mean, I think Hyde Park does do concerts and stuff, so there may be something that can be set up, but I just don't know. I genuinely don't know. That seems like a lot of work. I mean, look, WrestleMania that could hold over 100,000 is always going to be of interest to me because I just love those kind of massive crowds. And I've said before, like, there's something special about 100,000 people because you just don't see it that often. It's so rare to get an event where there's over 100,000 people there that it becomes noteworthy. Like, it's a really significant event if you can get 100,000. I mean, Wembley can only hold 90. There's no stadium in the UK that's got 100,000. There's only so many stadiums in the world that can hold over 100,000. I mean, a lot of the American football stadiums don't go to 100,000. There are some that do, and I think you might even have some college football ones that do, which is mental. But a lot of NFL teams don't. So 100,000 to me has always been... I've said, I was talking to James the other day about the new Man United ground, and I was saying, like, if they're going to redo it, I really hope that gets to 100,000. Because, I don't know, that's just always been like a real significant number, like a real statement, you know? So I would be totally down for it, but I just don't know how feasible it would be. I don't know how realistic it would be. I don't think they would want that aggro. I would imagine they'd just go Wembley, wouldn't they? Plus, Wembley has got such a iconic name. It's such an iconic place. I think people around the world know Wembley. It's had a lot of big events there over the years, of course, and I think that would be, you know, it's where SummerSlam '92 was, for example. So I think that they would probably just want to run it there, but I would be, if it was feasible, I'd be open to it. But I don't know. You have to look at then like toilets, portable toilets for like 150,000 people, and as you said, food vendors. You're going to need a load of them. That wouldn't be too bad though, because people would. There's loads of businesses that I'm sure would come down, and you wouldn't need to pay for them, but you would have to pay for the toilets, and you would have to pay for the temporary stands. WWE should bring their own stage, so you shouldn't need to worry so much, and ring, of course, so you wouldn't need to worry about that. But yeah, just there'd be a lot of work there. The Six Horror Kingman said, I'm doing good in my wrestling school. Black said he loved my gimmick. I'm close to showing the world my name and gimmick soon. Well, good luck to you, my friends. It sounds like things are progressing very well. And yeah, I will look forward to... you'll have to let us know what your name is, and we'll obviously keep an eye out. So best of luck. Dr. Lucha Lala said, a couple of us were on Conman's stream. Wasn't the same with everyone here. Dr. Lucha Lala, shout out to you. Yeah, there's a lot of streams that go down. I know. I mean, I don't go, obviously, on those streams. I don't go to those channels because we stream at the same time. So, but I'm aware that there's loads. I think it's something that's, I don't think there was that many that did it when we started back in 2018. And I think it really exploded maybe during the pandemic when people were stuck at home and they started doing it. And so I think a lot of people have kind of got into it over the past 4 years. So yeah, there is a lot of people that do it, and I think there's a lot of places to go, which is why we're always so grateful. It's really, really not lost on me, the fact that there is a lot of competition, if you will. There's a lot of other places that people can hang out, and all we can do is just try and put on the best streams that we can, really, and be honest about what we're seeing, get stuck into some theories, and just do what we do, really. So it is lovely to be back and all focused now once we get past tonight. I mean, as I said, I'm still not 100%. Definitely, as soon as NXT's done, I don't know whether I do an unseen tonight or if I just leave it to tomorrow. There'll definitely be one, but it might not be tonight. I might just go, do you know what? I'm just going to go to bed. I'm just going to go to bed. But I don't know. We'll see how I feel. But yeah, all eyes now on SummerSlam, really. That's this weekend, and we'll obviously be more than ready for that. So it should be good. I'm really looking forward to SummerSlam. Dave got a new subscriber last night because some people went from here to there. Oh, good. I'm glad that Dave benefited. So good. Paul said Mania in London would be epic, but dread to think how much tickets would be, especially if 2 nights. Yeah, they'd be expensive. But I mean, I think if you listen, London, the UK, you should start saving because we can't complain. I mean, unfortunately, WWE have got us over a barrel, really. We have begged and we have pleaded to give us WrestleMania. So as soon as those tickets come out, if they are extortionate, if they are crazy, there's not a great deal we can do. I mean, you can sort of moan and complain about it, but I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be, isn't it? They are bringing WrestleMania. So there's just not going to be much we can do. I mean, they're obviously going to try and get as much money as they can. And there's going to be a bit of disruption, what with it being in the UK, because I don't think they would do what the UFC did, which is make us stay up till like 3 a.m, because you got a lot of kids. And you can't really do that if you've got a lot of kids. So I think there's gonna have to be a bit of a sacrifice in the sense of it's gonna be an earlier WrestleMania for America, which is their main market. So you could totally understand them going, well, if we're going to do that, then we're going to need to be well compensated. And that might be through ticket prices, to be honest. That might be through ticket prices. Who knows? I mean, I don't think they would charge us to watch the pay-per-view, but here in the UK, who knows if they don't even slap a £50 price tag on it, so that if you want to watch it at home in the UK, you have to pay for it. Like, I don't want to be giving them ideas, but this is the kind of thing which wouldn't stun me. I wouldn't be stunned if they kind of went that way. In fact, I'm quite surprised they haven't done it already. I thought that, like, and a lot of people did actually when the network first came in. So you're going to get all the pay-per-views. You pay $9.99 a month, you get all the pay-per-views. And people thought eventually they'll charge extra for Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, maybe Survivor Series, but those ones they'll charge that little bit extra. So it's like, you know, you get all of the shows except for these, they're just costing you an extra £10 on top of your subscription. But that's never happened. That's never materialized, which was quite a surprise, really. A lot of people thought they would do that at some point, but as we said, thankfully not. But yeah, I think when it comes to the ticket prices of WrestleMania in the UK, I'd say start saving now. Days, a WrestleMania vlog, said Dr. Luchalala. Well, yeah, a vlog I think would be interesting. I wouldn't go, but I would try and go to an access. I mean, I would want to stream it. I wouldn't be at WrestleMania, even in the UK. I wouldn't go. I already know that. But what I would be tempted to do would be, I don't know, get an Airbnb, get an apartment in London for that weekend so that I can be amongst it, yeah, and go to the access and be around for, you know, various meet and greets and, you know, whatever's going on, but then get back and do the streaming. So we can stream SmackDown, we can stream WrestleMania and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, let's see if it gets confirmed and when it's going to be first. Even if it gets confirmed, we're probably looking at it being around about 27, 20. Some people have said 26, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that it will be 26. But let's see what comes through. I think we might get a Julia video package after Rox retains. Oh, yeah. Well, she is coming in, isn't she? But she's not coming in for a while. So that's why I thought maybe it'll be Stephanie Vacour, who's already in. But then how do you do that match if it was Stephanie? Because I feel like Stephanie surely wins. And we don't really know anything about her. So I don't know, because we don't know anything about her, and then you bring I can't see us doing Stephanie versus Julia straight out the gate, because I feel like we're going to need to be introduced to both of these women. I know that, like, people have learned a bit about them, but yeah, we still need to learn about them, still need to know their characters, their personalities, even if you can watch videos of how good they are in the ring. So yeah, I couldn't, I feel like clearly Roxanne's beating Thea, right? But yeah, what happens after that? I do feel like, because it's Great American Bash, there will be a moment, but what's that moment? What does it look like? So maybe a Julia video package. Yes, I can't remember. I might have it in my folders. She did say earlier as to when she's free. Julia said August 19th will be her final show in Japan. People are wondering if NXT No Mercy on September 1st will be the show that she... I don't know that she debuts there. I don't know if she debuts there or if that is where she's going to have her first match. But, yeah, August 19th. So, still got a few weeks until she is free. I don't know. I genuinely, I just don't know. I don't know how that's going to play out. Days, if Cody and Solo wasn't the main event, what would your main event be? CM Punk Drew. CM Punk Drew. I think Rhea and Liv has been excellent, but I think that unfortunately Liv's star power is quite limited, because really this is probably the most interesting thing she's ever done, right? Before this, she was a mid-carder, really. She had one title run which was underwhelming, so I don't think she's not someone that's bringing in casual eyes. She's got her fans, but she ain't bringing in casualize. Rhea, I think, is a bigger star. She's main evented at Elimination Chamber. She is mommy and all of that stuff. You know, I mean, they've really built her up. So I feel like Rhea could main event SummerSlam. I just don't know that Rhea Liv is the match, because I think Liv Star has risen drastically because of this feud, but I think you probably need to come back in about 12 months. You know, if Liv keeps getting built and built and built over the next 12 months, Rhea Liv at next year's SummerSlam, I think, could main event. This year feels too soon. If it was Rhea versus Becky, that could main event. If it was Rhea versus Charlotte, that could main event. If it was Rhea versus Bayley, that could main event. Because, you know, they're all big stars. But Liv's not that level. Liv's not the same level as Bayley or Charlotte or Becky in regards to star power. So, but don't get me wrong, I'm not being a hater. I'm saying that she's good now. She's good at the moment. She's in a great place now. But it's just now, you know. She's only just kind of getting there now. So I think that she just needs that little bit longer. That little bit more seasoning. So that's why it would be an option, but that's why I would end up going with McIntyre and CM Punk. Okay, we have got some boomers. Is this Hank and Tank? We've got some weird intro. What is going on? We've got Hank and Tank in a backstage area. Okay, so we've got the switch. They turn it on and we're inside the arena. The summer tradition has arrived. Lots of Joe Hendry signs. We've got food laid out. Some burgers, some salad, some punch. What have they got in store? I don't even know what's opening. There's Roxanne. Roxanne, you don't have to put on a red light. There is the Don. The family. Oh, hello. Kara's, who's getting out the car? Kara's pulled up. Obafemi. Obafemi gets out the car and Tony takes his glasses off. I don't think he appreciated being overshadowed. Right, might be a tag match now. We've got Metaphor, Jakara, Lash, and Oro Mensah. We know the girls are going to be in action. First of 3 championship matches. Lash and Jakara taking on Isla and Alba. 3 title matches tonight, said Kiam. A Metaphor faces now. I think it's a bit confusing, to be honest. Oro is going after Ethan Page. Ethan Page is definitely a heel. So I'm guessing that means Oro is. Lash and Jakara, I'm still not sure. What are Alba and Isla? I think they're heels, aren't they? Because aren't they, like, in a feud with Jade and Bianca? So, yeah, I suppose that must position these girls as being... Don't know. It is, I think it's a bit confused. Here's Alba and Isla, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champs. twin demons of destruction. Haley said, my show's about a full minute ahead of yours. Is it? Oh, no, I am live. I wonder if there's a slight delay for some reason. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're about to get underway with our opening contest. It's on Sci-Fi. Oh, yes, it is on Sci-Fi. I haven't seen what the ratings were. I don't know how much the move has affected things. Okay, just getting their intros. I'm just going to have a look, actually, and see if we've got those ratings. Oh, hello. Straight away, we are underway. Let's have a look at WrestleNomics. WrestleNomics might have that information. Collision, Rampage, SmackDown, Collision, Battle of the Belts, Rampage. No, nothing on WrestleNomics yet. The only thing we've got is that the Liv Morgan segment where she had the crosses on Dominic's eyes. That's gone over 1 million views on YouTube. It's a bit late, isn't it? Wouldn't they normally be in by now? Okay, this match settling down a little bit. Isla and Alba are in control. Double knees there by Isla, going for the cover. Kick out by Jakara. Bill, shout out to you. Hope you're well. Sci-Fi. Raw did 1.4, says Brony. Oh, where did you see that? Where did you see that? It's not on WrestleNomics. I mean, if you've seen 1.4, I believe you. I just don't know where that is. I'll have a look in a second. But at the moment, we've got Jakara in a bit of trouble, but she kicks out. Matt said Raw averaged 1.4. It was down 21% with 0.5 minus 14. Thank you, Matt. Okay, 1.4. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think you can really get anything from that other than Sci-Fi is, well, I'm guessing a smaller channel. We've been around 1.7. So, you know, 1.4... maybe a bit disappointing, but as we said, I don't know that that's an indicator that like 300,000 people have given up on the show. I think it's probably more the disruption of moving to Sci-Fi, but that's interesting. To the outside there by Lash. Lash part in the rope so Jakara can go through, and she does. Crossbody, down goes Isla. Metaphor in control. I think we're about to go to commercial break, and we are. Some people were probably watching the Olympics. Yeah, that's true. Picture in picture. Oh, I don't get that. I'm excited for the football season, says William. Eric said, I think WWE mailed in the Olympic coverage and SummerSlam. That's good for Sci-Fi, said I Am Your Father. Remember when SmackDown was on Sci-Fi? I remember, says Corey. Daze, they really have done an awful job with Albert and Isla as tag champs. Shouldn't have put the titles on them just because they were in their home country. Albert said, here in the US, they are competing against Olympics. Yeah, it's true. I'm sure the Olympics definitely had an effect I don't know. I don't know, like, how much the Olympics causes disruption. Like, how much does the Olympics get attention compared to Monday Night Football? I don't know. You lot love football. So I don't know how the Olympics compares. I don't have those numbers. But I agree. I mean, definitely could have played a part. But even if the Olympics wasn't on, what could you do on sci-fi? I genuinely don't know. I think they'll be quite happy with 1.4 because we've done 1.4 on USA Network not long ago. So I think they'll be happy with 1.4. Like, fine. Take it, move on, try and do the same next week, and then I think, is that it? Is it 2 weeks that we're on sci-fi? Take the 1.4s and just move on, you know. WWE need to invest more in all the tag titles, said Eric. None of them have been relevant since the Usos held the men's tag titles. Trini, missed you yesterday. Trini, shout out to you. Your drunken exploits made me go and shock DJ Tazzy. Jordan said, I've sent you a strange Corey Graves tweet. Okay. I will try and catch up with... I am drowning a little bit in tweets. Actually, I found it very quickly. Normally, I can't find them, but I found it very quickly. What does this mean? So, 37 minutes ago, Corey Graves said, and then, all of a sudden, it doesn't love you back anymore. What does that mean? What does that mean? And then all of a sudden it does. Was he talking? Is there a tweet before it that would make sense? Like, was he talking about football or Olympics? Like, if he said something like, I love the Olympics, and then his next tweet is, and then all of a sudden it doesn't love you back anymore because something went wrong with the US team or something, that would make sense. Was there a tweet before it? People are speculating if Corey's been released. There is nothing before it. Jordan, thank you. I've added yours to unseen. I hope he's not going. I really like Corey. I really like Corey. Yeah, there was nothing before it. There was no. If it was like, oh, I really love, as I said, the Olympics. Or I really love. I don't even know what sports are on at the moment. Miami Heat, basketball, whatever. And then the next one is, and then sometimes it doesn't love you back. Then you could be like, okay, I know what that's about. But there was nothing before it. And then all of a sudden, it doesn't love you back. Trenton says help. Help. Trenton's tagged me in it and he's gone help with the word help. I can't help you. There's nothing I can do. I didn't think anyone would have a worse day than me today. Corey Graves might be having a worse day than me. Isla to the outside. Corey was talking about missing the Raw stream last night. Oh, okay. Got you. Got you. Well, I hope so. You missed a very great show, said Tony. Dave's SmackDown last week against the Olympics got 2 million. That was down from 2.3. Down 22% in viewers, 21%. Lowest since May 2023, says Big Time. Nathan said, is it the Wyatt 6? That was my thoughts. What? Corey's tweet. And then all of a sudden it doesn't love you back anymore. I don't think so. Bianca and Jade have tweeted, just saying they're keeping eyes on this. Corey Graves probably got himself in trouble for a deleted tweet after AEW Dynamite ended last week. Oh, what, the one about headshots and all of that stuff, chair shots. I feel like that level of pettiness has surely gone from the business. Maybe under the Vince regime, but like, oh, hello, we got a tag team. Boom, lovely. Cut up by Jakara 2. And Isla has to make the save. Isla Dawn making the save. Well, I mean, I'll tell you, if I'm WWE, I'm not going to be massively impressed with Corey Graves tweeting that out if it's not really something that serious. Only because I want people watching NXT and focused on NXT. And I feel like everyone now is going to be talking about Corey. And I obviously hope he hasn't been released because I really like him. But if it's not anything serious, and he's, you know, if I was WWE, I'd be like, couldn't you have done this on a Wednesday or a Thursday? It's a win for Isla and Alba. It would be another mistake. WWE would have done a commentator first, letting go Nigel McGuinness. Yeah. Let's see what scores people are giving this. What did Carmella do? Do you think it's Carmella? Do you think... But it says it. And then, all of a sudden, it doesn't love you back anymore. If it was Carmella, wouldn't he put she? Okay, what have we got here? Is this Ethan Page is coming out? So Isla and Alba have picked up the victory. I hope you repay the favor next week and you console Oro after his loss. The crowd are chanting 1, 2, 3 at Ethan. Glad to see you're feeling better. Hope you had a good time, said Wacko Magician. Yeah, I'm back, babe. I'm back. I appreciate it. That was a bit weird. Oro just rolled up Ethan, and then Lash and Jakara counted the 1, 2, 3. The 1, 2, 3 has me rolling, said Haley. I gave the match bad since it was obvious who was going to win, said Jim. Okay, here's Cedric. Here's Sean. 1, 2, 3 kid gimmick. A pointless pin again, said Charles. Oh, I'm so distracted by this Corey news, you know. Have we got a message from Sean Ross Sapp or anything? No, nothing. People are saying it's either a release or a breakup from Carmella. Oh, here's Brooks. There's Tavia. Here's Hank. So we're just hearing from Tavian. He's got his United States Olympic team jacket on. But that's not what the vote is for. Those guys are trainees. Wasn't there a new announcer that was signed that has yet to be seen? Oh, God, you're right. And they spoke about a 3-man booth, didn't they? Yes, you're right. No, they can't do that. They can't do that. They brought that guy in, didn't they? People were... I don't know his name. But they brought some guy in, haven't they, who's like a commentator, does Monday Night Football or something. There was a lot of people excited about him coming in. And, there was word it was going to be a 3-man booth, which I thought was weird because they seem to have really moved away from 3-man booths. But then saying that, they're not going to get rid of Pat. You're not going to get rid of Michael Cole. I don't know, Wade Barrett, last one in, first one out kind of a thing, I would think would be in the most danger. I didn't think they'd get rid of Corey. Because Corey can do both. He's doing lead at the moment, but he can do colour. So he can do either of the roles. So it would be Wade Barrett that I would have worried about, to be honest. But yeah, you're right. They have hired a new announcer. Friday before SummerSlam is looking good, said Kian. Daze, hope you are well. Having a good stream. What was your day? Not brilliant. I'm excited that SummerSlam this weekend. I thought Raw was okay. I'm sweating buckets today, and I really enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine. Corey says Joe Tessitore. Is that his name? Graves has been cleared a while ago to wrestle if he wants, said Jason. Spartan said Pat's gonna do football or something. Yeah, college football apparently. If WWE, I don't know that means he's leaving WWE though. If WWE is going to replace Corey with this Monday Night Football commentator, that's a bad move. James said it's probably nothing that bad. Tony said I would keep an eye out for Sean Ross Sapp. Do they bring back NXT women's tag titles? Well, I don't really know why we ever lost them, to be honest. I don't know why we ever got rid of them. Okay, well, we are going to keep an eye on this. As James said, maybe it's not going to be anything that bad. If he is trolling, though, if I was WWE, I would be annoyed. Because I do think that you've took the attention of the wrestling world away from, which the timing makes me think that it could be something serious. Because it's Great American Bash right now. To drop that just before the show. Don't know. I just don't know. I would love for Alexa to come back as a commentator or announcer, says William. NXT without Booker would be dry. Brony said, Daze, judging from what we've seen from Ethan Page as champion, what are your thoughts? He hasn't been doing it for me. I think he's very confident. and I think he can talk well. I think that we just haven't seen much from him, you know. Like I'm waiting to see like those singles matches that really blow my mind or like really deliver. I mean, so far I've seen him in a singles match with Trick, which underwhelmed, and then I saw him in that 4-way where he got a lucky victory. I'm really outside of that. I just haven't seen much from him, so he just hasn't been in very long, has he? So match-wise, can't really say much, but promo-wise, very confident, clear, arrogant, very dislikable, which is good because he's a heel, and that's what he's trying to achieve. I think he achieves it well. Yeah, I think he's fine. I think he's solid. I don't look at him and think he doesn't blow my mind. I don't look at him and think, oh my god, there's the next John Cena. There's the next, you know, Cody Rhodes. But he's just a good, solid hand to have around, really. But they must like him. I mean, putting the belt on him so quickly must see a lot in him. So yeah, just need to see a bit more, really. Pete Dunne is getting a little sit-down interview. I got stuck with a terrible nickname. You'd be bitter too. They're not like me, and neither are you. You lot can't figure it out. Wow. Jeez. Talking about getting robbed in Birmingham. With hammers. Do you know, the video packages have been excellent. I was watching the video packages on Raw. I thought the Damian Priest and the... Oh, what was the other one? Bron Breakker. I thought they were excellent. This one as well. Brilliant. Love that. Talking about how, like, he got stuck with a bad nickname. You did? So it looks like we're going to get Pete Dunne and Trick on a collision course. But this is going to be the bruiserweight Pete Dunne, of course. It's such a shame because I feel like that whole Butch thing just so ruined him. Just really soured things. And we've just not been able to really get back. I don't think putting him in a tag team with Tyler was the right thing to do. I just don't think Tyler's gimmick works at the moment. This kind of vegan, you know, I mean, like really, I don't know, like Zen, meditation. It doesn't scream cool. So I just don't think that was quite right either. They had something so good with the bruiserweight Pete Dunne. They had something that really worked, and we loved him, and we loved that gimmick, and he was successful. Why they felt the need to change it when he went to the main roster, must have been a Vince thing. I can't remember. Must have been. I can't believe that Triple H would have done that to him. So I think it must have been a Vince thing. But you got to say, even Triple H hasn't really saved him very well. Hasn't really pulled it back very well. So now he's finding himself just sort of a bit of, well, I think they would have had something for him, but Tyler got injured. So now he's gone to NXT to kind of, you know, just keep going, keep the wheel spinning, and yeah. Hopefully this can get us back to where we were. Tony against Tavian, Heritage Cup match coming up now. The following contest. They wasted 2 years of Pete Dunne's career with that stupid butch. I know, and you know, we knew from the start, right? And it's this isn't me bigging us up, right? Literally anyone and everyone could see that that butch thing was not going to work. It was not going to work. You didn't need to be anything mystic, or you didn't need to be Mystic Meg to see that that just was not going to land. Everything about it, like that whole scrappy-do persona, just... And I think to use that now as a reason as to why he's frustrated, I think is good. That's exactly what he should do. He should use that now as motivation. I really like that video package. But the one yesterday with Bron Breakker, I thought it was excellent. Right, Bella sounded. Tavian Heights against Tony D'Angelo. When Pete was tagging with Riddle, he proved that he can work the face gimmick well. I love the dynamic between them, says Haley TV. Jess already said he's too old, doesn't know the roster well to commentate. Who's this? Who's too old? Daze UK has gone to shiz after those children the other day. Now there's people fighting with machetes. Jesus. Is there? I didn't hear about the kids. That news broke when I was out. I mean, I woke up the next day, or you know, this morning. My mum said, and I hadn't heard. I mean, you just can't understand it, can you? I'd imagine that's world news. I mean, Taylor Swift has sent a message because the kids were doing some dance thing that was like a Taylor Swift inspired dance class. Just can't get your head around it. I think it's probably unsurprising. There's been some backlash. I think there's a lot of anger and people just don't know what to do with it. I mean, that guy, he'd be ripped to pieces if he was out on the street. There's just so much anger, isn't there? Which is understandable. But unfortunately, there's nowhere for that anger to go. And so I think this is why we're seeing the scenes we're seeing now. Shoulder tackle by Tony. Daze, hope you had a good night. TJF, shout out to you. Do you remember all the hype around that first Pete Dunne figure, says Paul? Yes. And I believe it was a exclusive at like Walmart or Target and was not available in the UK, which was unfathomable that Pete Dunne's first figure was not going to be available here. Thankfully, they have made another one, maybe another couple, but that have been available here. But that first one was, yeah, a lot of people wanted to get their hands on that. Oh, I can see Ren Sinclair in the crowd, you know. Ren Sinclair sat in the front row. That makes sense. She's trying to get in with No Quarter Catch crew, isn't she? Yeah, I just spotted her in the front row in the background. They may have already shown her. I didn't see. Gut wrench. Tavian trying to pick up Tony. Tony trying to reverse. They're protesting about immigration. The guy was born in Wales, says Matt. I think I heard that he came from Rwandan parents, so I think he's from Wales, but I think his parents originally came from Rwanda. I mean, it's to be honest with you, I think there's a couple of things that might be happening. I think you've got people that will maybe always look for, there we go, reasons to kind of have that conversation. And I think also there is just a lot of anger and people don't know what to do with it. Yeah, it's terrible. It's just terrible. There's just no winners in this whatsoever. And it's so unfathomable, like, what... It just doesn't make any sense. The US have got double the medals of the second place country. Track and field's not started. Proud America. Australia is winning swimming rivalry, currently, said AKF. How does the Heritage Cup work, said AB Jobson. Is it 5 or 6 rounds? Basically, it's the first to get 2 pinfalls or submissions. If you get DQ'd, then you lose the whole thing. If you get pinned or submitted, then you lose that fall, and it's the first to 2. And each round is 3 minutes. I think, is it? I can't remember if it's 5 or 6. But basically, it's the old rules. This is what they used to do in British wrestling, is they did it by rounds. As soon as you get a pinfall, that's the end of the round as well. It's good. It's a different match type. I think there's definitely a place for that. And you know, they tend to get quite exciting, actually. We've seen some really good Heritage Cup matches. Maybe they should send them to the front line. They could use their anger over there, said Spartan Major. Well, there is a bit of a thought that that's kind of what's happened, really, is that, you know, the UK has gone through a lot of wars in its time. And I think, like, we haven't really had wars for a while. And there's a lot of kids that I think would be normally going to join an army and, you know, getting involved in fighting and all that kind of stuff. And we just don't have those conflicts. So there is, I think, a lot of people that I think would make very good soldiers, let's put it that way. I think there's a lot of people that do have, like, anger, that I think it would be productive to use it in a positive way. Or I say a positive way, a different way. I'm not saying we need to start a war. But yeah, I have read a report, an article about that. About how there is maybe a lack of focus. I mean, I don't know. The army gives you a lot of stuff, doesn't it? I know that in America, you're very proud of your armed forces, rightfully so. It's not just about fighting. I think if you go in the army, you get a lot of discipline, don't you, as well? I mean, you learn a lot of lessons. And I think there's a lot of kids that would really have benefited from going in the army, even if there isn't a war. But unfortunately, you know, as times have got harder, I mean, COVID has hit, and Brexit was an absolute shiz show. You know, it's all resulted in putting pressure on our armed forces. So our armed forces, their resources just get tighter and tighter and more limited and more limited. I think there's a lot that would have benefited from going in that system, actually, yeah. But thankfully, fortunately, we're not in those situations, and so they don't have to. But the discipline would have been good for them. Nice superplex there by Tony. Tavian, end of the round. End of the round. Draco said there's just nothing for kids to do nowadays. All the social things get closed. Do you know, it's funny, I was talking of this to my cousin. I was like, I really feel, and people can say I'm wrong, but I really feel like the world is a worse place than it was when I was young. I don't know if it's like rose-tinted memories, but I just remember, like, you know, going to car boot sales and like finding gems, whereas now everything's just on eBay and it all costs a lot of money. You can maybe find the odd stuff at a car boot sale, but not like you could before. Everything was there before. Now it's the stuff people can't be bothered to put on eBay. So, like, you look at that, it's just not as good, and, like, you know, everything's so expensive. An ice cream, apparently on TV the other day, £3.50 if you want an ice cream from the ice cream man. £3.50. Oh, Ren Sinclair's come in. She's trying to fire up Tavian because Tavian just lost. You're an Olympian? She slaps him? You need to do this? She slaps him again? Oh my god, she's firing up Tavian. So, Tony got that 4. We're in round 4. Tony 1, Tavian 0. Ren Sinclair, though, slapping Tavian, getting him fired up. Sling blade there by Tavian. Tavian against the ropes again. Nice belly to belly, and he... Oh, that's better. That looked great. And there we go. It's 1-1. It worked. It worked. So, that's the only problem I would say with the Heritage Cup matches, is that beating Tony shouldn't be as easy as what we just saw there, but... Yeah, what's the problem? Why are they bickering in the corner? Like, help Tavian out. Miles is really impressed with what Ren has brought, but unfortunately, they're not helping Tavian. And so Tony comes straight out the gates. Tavian struggling a little bit here. Round 5. Tony chest first into the corner. Tavian has got Tony up. Plants him down. Gut wrench. Lovely. Going for the cover. 1, 2. Shoulder up there by Tony. Yeah, I mean, that was really good. Do you know, I mean, Tavian's looked really good at times in this. Knee to the midsection. Tony against the ropes. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Lovely belly to belly and a shoulder up there by Tony. Yeah, Booker said he needs to stay on the gas. This would be a moment for him. Tavian goes against the ropes. Tony getting back up to his feet. Big shot. Down goes Tavian. And again. Against the ropes goes Tony. Back elbow. Tavian goes down. Belly to belly. Oh, gets it. Tony coming over. Tavian picks him up. Spine buster. Spine buster by Tony. So Tavian is down. Tony in control. He's got Tavian against the ropes. Nice. Ah, and again. 1, 2, 3. So Tony gets the win. I think they did that fairly well. When they had her fire him up, it worked, and then they just got a bit distracted, and it meant that Tavian didn't get what he needed just before that last fall. There we go. The family have picked up the victory. Let's jump in and get a poll up for that one. What do people think about that one? Match scores. Tavian is low-key solid in the ring, said ABJ. I think he looks like a real prospect, doesn't he? 99 flakes are a rip-off now. Yeah, that's what it was. It was on TV, and it's about how 99s were apparently never 99p to begin with. They've always been more. But they actually went to an ice cream van on TV and asked how much like a 99 was. It was £3.50. I mean, it's mental. It's just mental. Like, you can't buy a house like now. I mean, like, genuinely trying to get a house is just nightmare. And I went, like, you know, when we went for drinks, we went into town and we went straight to the pub, but I was looking at the shops and I was like, I don't want to go to any of these. You know, I used to enjoy going to Toys R Us. It's gone. I used to enjoy going to, like, music stores, little independent music stores. They're all gone. I think there's one, actually, that's still around, but, you know, there's none in the centre of Birmingham anymore. So I was kind of, and like, you know, your HMVs and whatever, they're not like they were. Your DVD stores and everything. Like, where would you go now? If you want to go into, like, a town centre, like, where would you go? There's just clothes shops, coffee shops, sports shops. I suppose you could go to Waterstones. That's a bookshop. You can have a little look at the books, I suppose. But, I mean, I don't know, like, it just, even that doesn't feel as good as it used to. going in and looking at the DVDs and the CDs and video games. I mean, even video game stores are like slowly going because of them being all downloads. Like, I know I'm a boomer, but it does just feel like things are just more expensive. A lot of the stuff that I'm into is dying out. And, like, yeah, as I said, this just doesn't seem as good anymore. And you can't buy a house. Did you hear McDonald's is going to reevaluate their pricing because their sales have fallen? Apple facing the same problem with people not buying new iPhones. It is a cost of living crisis. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. Then I don't know where we are in 10 years. I don't know what, you know, prices look like and all that. I just don't know. Don't know what the world looks like in 10 years. I'd imagine it'll largely be the same. But I don't know, that gap, the gap between like wages going up and prices going up is just out of line, isn't it? Crazy. It's a broken world. It is a broken world. Matt said buying a house has purposefully been made harder. I was told I couldn't get a mortgage because they didn't think I could afford the $750 a month repayment, despite me and my partner pulling in $5K a month. That doesn't even make sense, does it? I mean, if you can prove that you can pay those repayments, I mean, that should be it, shouldn't it? It's just mental. It is just mental. Maybe Jesse the Body Ventura will be announcing again, said Tony. Yeah, it was good seeing him back. I like Jesse. That was good. Do you know, I saw a wonderful clip of Jesse Ventura that had done the rounds on YouTube, and it had Jesse Ventura. He was sat in a room, like a courtroom type place. It was clear that it was some political meeting. And he was like, I joined the Navy SEALs at the age of 19. I went over to Vietnam. I was over there 6 months in active combat. I came back to the US, and the first thing I did was I went up to my sergeant and I said, I want to go back to Vietnam. And he was like, you can't. You have to be here 6 months before we send you back again. And I was like, no, I don't want to. I want to go straight back. And my sergeant asked me why. And I said to him, because over there I feel like a man. And over here, I feel like a child. I can go over there and I can engage in war, but I can't buy a beer over here. You know, and he was going down a list of stuff that he can't do. I can't vote for the people that are sending me to war. And I can't buy a beer. And he was going down all these things he can't do. And he's like, the only conclusion that I can come to is that we send children to war. It's like, damn, man. Damn. I mean, it's a good point, isn't it, really? You can go and fight and kill, but, oh, God, you can't have a beer. I mean, you can in the UK. You can be 18 in the UK. But I don't know how young we send people to war, to be honest. I don't know the minimum age to be a soldier. If it's 18, then at least lads can have a beer. But, yeah, it was one of those clips you go, damn, man, that does seem wrong, doesn't it? It does seem like we have got that a bit wrong. Or not me, America. But, yeah, I think there's lots of stuff like that in the world. Hang on, what have we got here? We have got Brooks and Cedric. So we're back from commercial break. It's Brooks and Cedric. Tony D'Angelo has retained the NXT Heritage Cup. Now, we're seeing this little breaking news box in the bottom left corner. We had that, I saw yesterday when The Miz was announced as host of SummerSlam, that it came up in the bottom corner. They've just done it again here, just saying that Tony has retained his championship. So they do seem to love these little breaking news boxes. There's a few thunderstorms coming down here, said Sonny. Boom, boom, boom. Sonny, I hope you're well. This is match number 3, Brooks versus Cedric Alexander. Brooks in control. Next week, we've got Great American Bash again. Remember when the ice cream van 99s costed 99 and not a dumb price now? Do you know, to be honest, I don't remember buying one. I can remember when I was at school buying. I used to get £1.50 for lunch when I was at school. And we had an ice cream van. And for £1.50, you could get this wafer shell, which was about the size of my hand when I was at school. And it had like 2 or 3 lumps of ice cream in, chocolate sauce, nuts on top. Like, it was, you know, the bee's knees. It was like the best thing they sold, but it cost all of my lunch money. And I remember seeing someone buy one once and immediately drop it, and they were gutted. I felt for him, to be honest. I felt for him. And that's your lunch, really. That's it for the day, innit? You're not getting anything else. So, yeah, I did have it myself a couple of times. But to be honest, I would tend to just buy sweets instead. So I don't think I ever went for a 99 or anything like that. And if ever I went the ice cream van, I would probably end up getting like one of the ice lols instead. Like a Zap. You probably didn't have them in America. I don't think they still make them. I don't think they make them now. But I did used to enjoy a Zap or a Twister. They were nice. I'd go for either of those. I'm looking. Yeah. By Cedric. I'm going to see if I can show you a Zap. I've actually got one. Well, I don't have one on me, but... Cedric chant, there we go. Weird colour. Look at that. Look at it. Weirds. Who remembers Zap? It was the best ice cream. Do you know, I couldn't tell you what flavour it was. Do we know what flavour it was? Don't think we know what flavour it was. Toffee? Zap Lolly has stopped this toffee lolly. Toffee flavour, apparently. It was lovely. It doesn't look like toffee flavour, does it? Yeah, they were great. Cedric's picked up the win. Toffee, that's sort of blown my mind, to be honest. Oof. He collided hard into that commentary table, Brooks Jensen. Cedric Alexander capitalizing and picking up the win. Here's Sean Spears. Now, what's going to happen between these two? Brooks is just screaming. And, well, that's it. Here's Javon. Oof. My mum was a John Cena person. My dad was a Booker T person. So he's talking about Jeff Hardy and Rob Van Dam. When I was younger, I used to tell my teachers to suck it. I love it. Wrestling is fun to me. It brings me joy, and the young OG likes to have fun. That's the right attitude, isn't it, man? There is just nothing about him that's unlikable. Everything about him is just awesome. Here's Joe Hendry chatting to some... I don't recognise the girls. Guess, is he going to kick off hour 2? Here's Ashanti. Oh, I wanted the little wink. Ashanti chatting with the girls. I like the little wink as he's walking away. We didn't get that this week. Speaking of blown minds, did you know that Biggie Smalls stole his full style and sound from the Notorious B1? The Notorious B1? What's the Notorious B1? I don't know what. I've never heard of the Notorious B1. Sounds like a classroom. Have you heard about what's going on in the Notorious B1? They've set the blooming blackboard on fire. Say his name. He appears, I believe, in Joe Hendry said Alkaline. Daze, I always enjoyed a screwball. I have heard that about you, Mitchell. I have heard that, mate. A screwball from the ice cream truck. Yeah, are your screwballs the same as our screwballs? Plastic, cone, ice cream, bubblegum at the bottom. Weird, isn't it? When you think about it. You eat the ice cream, and then you've got like this bubblegum ball to kind of like round it off with. It's just a bit strange. It's a weird... It's just weird. It works. I'm not against it. I've enjoyed many a screwball. But to be honest, that is not one that I would buy. It's one that we would probably have in the house. We'd probably have them in the freezer. Because I think when I was young, you could get those non-branded, you know? Like they did their own at the supermarkets. They, you know, it's just ice cream with a bubblegum thing at the bottom. So they were quite cheap because you didn't have to buy like a certain brand. Whereas with a Zap or with a Twister or something like that, you probably have to buy that brand, and so they obviously charge more. So we weren't getting that. We didn't have loads of money when we don't have loads of money now, but we had even less when I was younger. So, you know, getting proper branded stuff was not really a thing. If we had proper Coke in the house, that was a good day. Otherwise, it was just like supermarket own brand stuff, you know. So screwballs would be a good example of something that we would buy and probably just have in the freezer because they'd be cheap. I love a Scooby-Doo bar. Oh, I don't know that. I got an Apple Tango Ice Lol in the freezer. They're lush, says James. Loved a Fab back in the day. Yes. That's the, like, strawberry. The white kind of milk, kind of whatever layer that is. And then the chocolate with the hundreds and thousands on. Yes. That was good. What about a Fab? It's goated, isn't it? Everyone loves a Fab. CM Punk ice cream bars. Yeah. Ice cream bars, again, were always that little bit more expensive because you're getting, like, you know, cookie either side. So it's not just ice cream. So I really didn't have many of those when I was growing up. I never had the WWF ones. I don't even know if they sold them here, to be honest. But, yeah, I wish they'd bring them back out. I'd love to try one. Here's the Rascals. Treehouse. Celebrate with a little... What? Oh. It's kind of PG around here. We never really lost those tag titles. I think this is a better way of using Wes, you know. I really like him. I like that Trey Miguel guy. He's really caught my attention. So they want the tag titles and they want to defend them across 2 different companies. And while we're waiting, I'm guessing this is something they do on TNA. Okay. Booker said, I hate to say this, but the Rascals, they are pretty exciting. Okay, so Joe Hendry, it should be that we get this concert now. I've never seen a Joe Hendry concert. I can't even talk. Joe Hendry concerts, so I don't know really what to expect. I thought he was going to do his theme song, but Tommy tells me he's probably going to do like a parody song or something. Okay, so he's in the ring. We've got red carpet down. The crowd are swaying, got their arms in the air. He's got a guitar. Tonight we've brought it here to NXT. Mr. B said, this is a bathroom break time for me. Please yell when it's over. Bonkers says, I don't believe. TJF said, Joe Hendry concert. Imagine if Elias interrupts, said Alkaline. Dr. Luchalala said, Gallus definitely coming out. Jaco said, it's usually parody, but doesn't seem like this will be a usual video package. I just don't know what to expect. Joe Hendry makes things better for everyone in NXT. The president of his fan club, that's good. He's got Booker T in a kilt and a hat. He said that he's the president of his fan club. The son of Dutch Mantel? This is all right. I was ready to struggle through this. Like, parody songs can be very hit and miss. But there's a couple of lines in there which are good. Booker T being the president of his fan club. Joe Coffey being the son of Dutch Mantel. I like that. It's at the chorus. This is great, said the Jimmy. The rock guitar concert, said Brandon. All his songs are parody, said TJF. Hopefully Bo Dallas will come out or something, says Akim. Dr. Luchalala said it's a little cringy though. But isn't that his gimmick? Isn't everything he does cringy? Like the little look that he gives and everything, and him. Crowd are chanting, we believe. Joe Hendry said, I knew this would be fun, but you're really in a party mood. So he's doing another. So he's going to do his theme song now. Whether you like him or not, he's extremely over, said Brony. Joe Hendry is 1,000 times more entertaining than the Wyatts, said the Beach Kevin. Here's Gallus. Good night, NXT. There will be no encore, says Gallus. They interrupt the concert. He's outnumbered. Are we going to get the Pat crew now? Because they've had a few words for them, haven't they? And that DLC comes out tomorrow. Gallus sucks is the chant. Joe Hendry's theme is 5 years old. It took that long to get over, said TJF. Kicks coming in by Gallus. I feel like someone's going to make the save. Joe Coffey has got this guitar. And he smashes Joe Hendry in the back. Joe Hendry goes down. No one made the save. No one came to his aid. Okay, here's Roxanne Perez. That was fine. I really was not. I really didn't think I was going to get much from that, but it was fine. A couple of good lines in there. Right, we've got Hank and Tank there backstage with Roxanne Perez. I don't even know what they're doing. What are they doing? Oh, try and stick as many things on your feet. He's doing rubbish. Oh, Jada Parker, man. Jada Parker throwing some shade at Roxanne. Let's go. I'm here for that match. Jada Parker against Roxanne. Saturday. John Cena made the save. You just didn't see him, said Mitchell. That guitar shot looked rowdy, said A.B. Jobson. Crazy Jose still here. Dude, don't give anything. Joe Hendry, not so bad. I'd rather have him entertain the crowd than Seth Leachin Roland, said Aubrey. Kian said, let's go, LA Knight, get that title. Big time, said Joe Hendry, selling, crying. I don't think you're going to get Roman at SummerSlam, says Akim. Brony said, please get Hank and Tank off my screen. Please get Hank and Tank off my screen. Thank you. Hey, have we had any development on the Corey Graves thing? Any word, any... You know what these gossip peeps are like? Don't think so. You've got to know that the Sean Ross Sapps of the world are looking into it. I'll have a look, see if Sean's saying anything. 1 hour ago, no. Nope. Nope. WWE Speed. If I went to a concert and it had just one song, I'd be demanding a full-ass refund, said Matt. Do you believe we get Roman at SummerSlam? Well, I think so. It just would make sense, wouldn't it? I mean, he's been away. We know that he's back training. We've seen him training. SummerSlam's one of the biggest shows of the year. Feels like we're building to Bloodline. Yeah. I think so. But there's people saying they don't think so, so I don't know. Like with most things, I'm happy to keep an open mind on it. I mean, I'll go into it unless I hear otherwise. I'll go into it thinking there's a good chance we see him. But if we don't end up getting him, we don't end up getting him. But yeah, I think so. TJF said Wyatt's are the best thing in WWE at the moment. Brandon said Joe, Hendry, Daze, YouTube. Daze, the World Cup past yet, or is it next year? World Cup is... When is it? 2 years. 2026. Yeah. America in it? It's in the US. So, no, it's, we do the Euros, then there's a year off, then it's the World Cup, then there's a year off, then it's the Euros, then it's a year off, then it's the World Cup, then it's a year off, then it's the Euros. So it was the Euros this summer. England got to the final, lost to Spain. Lol. Then there won't be anything next year. I think the women are next year, actually. I think the women play in a Euros or a World Cup. And then after that will be the World Cup. There was a teaser of Roman. Surely he comes back, says Nathan. Imagine spending all your time preparing for the World Cup, then seeing the trophy. Imagine preparing for the World Cup, then seeing the trophy. What, don't you like the trophy? I like the World Cup trophy. Do you think of tribal combat Roman solo? Yeah, I'm sure we get that at some point. I don't know when it would be. Roman will be back at the Rumble, says Brony. Yeah, Women's Euros 2025, James. Thank you. Wonder if Corey Graves is hinting at a Ziggler appearance, said Leaping Lucha Larry. Trophy is not a cup. Used to be a cup, you know. When it was the Jules Rimet, it did have like a bit at the top that was a cup. But yeah, they have changed it. Like in 1974, I think it first came in. I like it. I think the actual... It looks really cool, I think. Okay, we've got Ethan and Oro. Your stupid ego couldn't handle the fact that I pinned you. None of that stuff counts. That is true. You can't beat me and you won't beat me. I don't think anyone's expecting Oro Mensah to win this, are they? When I beat you next week. just nothing about Oro Mensah that screams champ, doesn't it, at the moment? We just haven't built him up. Here's Kendall Gray making her way down to the ring. Okay, Kendall Gray coming up next. Who out of the 3 GMs is more likely to wrestle again? That's a good question. Not Adam Pearce. It's got to be Ava, hasn't it? I mean, I feel like Nick Aldis has got a good chance. I feel like she's got a good chance, but that's a good question. I'm torn between Ava and Nick Aldis because I feel Nick Aldis has definitely got something still to offer. I don't know why he's not a wrestler. But we haven't got anywhere close to him wrestling, have we? Whereas Ava, she's wrestled before. Have we really just given up on her being a wrestler? Surely Ava wrestles again at some point. But does Nick Aldis? I'm going to say Ava. I'll say Ava. I definitely don't think Adam Pearce. Jada Parker, yeah. She looks great. And, you know, her match with Michin, that, like, street fight, really, really put her over in my eyes. I mean, she's a good talent anyway, but I so enjoyed that match. She came in, she had a really great match with Michin. So here she is, Jada Parker against Kendall Gray. Nothing about this feels special. This just feels like a normal NXT match. But, you know, we have had a couple of title matches. We have had that Joe Hendry concert. Going back into the corner. Nice big knee to the midsection there by Jada. Goes up, over the top. Rose over to the other side. Crossbody. Down goes Jada. 2. Kick out by Jada. Daze, do we think Stephanie Vacour at the end can't end with Roxanne retaining and nothing happening? Yeah, we were talking about that before NXT. I can't get a read as to what they do. I mean, if you bring out Stephanie Vacour, that would be great. But she can't be champion. Not straight away. If she's champ, then that means you're probably going to do Julia Stephanie. Unless Julia comes in and goes after Roxanne, doesn't go after the title straight away. Maybe Stephanie's champ. Julia comes in, goes after Roxanne, doesn't go after the title. I suppose you could go that way. You could go that way. Stephanie is someone that doesn't need to be in NXT to learn how to wrestle. She's someone that just needs to get into the system, really. Just get, like, you know, used to the WWE expectations. They can work on her presentation. The cues, go into commercial break, blah, blah, blah. You know, Asuka went to NXT, Finn Balor went to NXT, Shinsuke went to NXT. She's that kind of level. So the idea of her coming in and winning a title early is not crazy. The idea of Julia coming in and winning a title early is not crazy. I just don't see us doing Stephanie versus Julia yet. It's too soon. We don't know either woman. So if Stephanie beats Roxanne and then you bring Julia in, I don't think you do Stephanie Julia. So that means that you could bring Stephanie in and do Stephanie Roxanne, and then either Roxanne wins thanks to cheating, and then you do Roxanne Julia, or maybe Stephanie could win, and then you do Julia Roxanne, but the title's obviously not involved. So I think there is a way forward of Stephanie arriving tonight. I think there is a chance of it, yes. But, you know, there are other things that could go down as well. Here's Ren Sinclair, Miles Bourne. Okay, Miles just getting suplexed on the outside. It was a belly-to-belly by Kendall. tell you what, she's got some moves in her. She's got some suplexes, this girl. So there, that was Jada Parker kicking out. I don't know why Miles and Ren have come down. Backbreaker. She's putting her in the corner, and big slap to the midsection by Jada. Goes up and drops down. Jada in control. Looking for a... Oh. Face first. Going against the ropes, Jada. Other side. Hip attack. 1, 2, 3. Does it. Not much to it. But that does it. Jada getting the win. That won't come to a shock to anyone. Jada Parker. Pressure. I always think of that. When she was on NXT Level Up, I saw an interview where she was like, pressure. She doesn't say it anymore. I'm gonna rise above the pressure. Here's the getting ready for her main event, I'm guessing. Listen, I really appreciate it. All the kind words. No one is throwing in the towel. You do whatever it takes. Here we go. Here's Andre Chase, Riley. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. JC and Jasmine coming up next. And Fallon. This is a 6-woman tag, isn't it? JC, Jasmine, Fallon. I can't remember who they're facing. Isn't it? Is it Soul? Lola. Carmen. It's all the boomers. It's the boomer crew. Dave, do you see that John Anderson, the former ref from Gladiators, passed away? I did, yeah. Gladiator ready. It's literally all he's known for, isn't he? But a big part of many of our youths. Kian said 6-woman tag team match next. Let's go. Chris said, do we think Dom turns on Rhea? I really don't know, because I think there's 2 ways you can go. I think that, as I said in my predictions, I think you can have... I think definitely Liv leaves as champ. I've got no doubt about that. And Dom definitely will get involved. But does he get involved on purpose and then leave with Liv? You can definitely do that. Or does he get involved and end up costing Rhea and he didn't mean it? And then he's like, I'm so sorry. And he's groveling as they're walking away. Because people have made a good point that the swerve might not be that Dominic has been with Liv all this time. The swerve might be that Finn and Liv have been working together. Again, if you look at the vandalism that happened in the Judgment Day clubhouse, Finn Balor's face was not vandalized. And so is that another... And we saw him get out the car with Liv. So I think as much as everyone, or not everyone, but a lot of people would go, no, Dom's going to turn on Liv, and it's going to be that Liv and Dom have been together all along. That's definitely an option. But another option is that Liv and Finn have actually been together all along, and this whole thing has been a plan between them for Finn to take over Judgment Day, to break up like Dom and Rhea and cause trouble so that he can like, you know, come in and take over. She can get the title and all this kind of stuff. And it might be that's the swerve. So there's a chance that, like, Dom gets involved and messes up, but doesn't mean to. And then, of course, you can do Liv and Finn against Dom and Rhea. You can do a mixed tag match. Or you do Dom and Liv against Damian and Rhea. Or maybe Dom, Finn, and Liv have been working together. And it's both of them. I mean, this is why I think it's so difficult, because I just don't know which one they're going to choose. They've got lots of paths they can go down, and there's not really any indication as to which one they're going to choose, because they could choose any of them. So it's like, it's hard to know what's going on, because there's lots of great options. So what's going to make that match quite exciting? I'm excited to see. I mean, if it turns out that Dom has been with Liv all this time, I think people would be like, yeah, makes sense. And if it turns out that Finn has been with Liv all this time, people are like, yeah, makes sense. But you also don't have to go down those roads. So it's like, don't know, I'm excited. It's definitely one of the biggest kind of talking points going into SummerSlam. What happens in that match? The only thing I'm very confident about is that Liv ain't losing that title. Okay, here's Axiom, here's Nathan, here's LWO. Finn did take that hotel key cards. Maybe someone exposes them with footage, said Dr. Luchalala. That's a great point. Here's Stevie. Looking lovely. Look at this. That's quite the outfit. Did you just agree to an NXT tag title match without my consent? Okay. Little bit of dissension. Biggest swerve of all, it's actually Carlito and Liv, says James. You're gonna look real dumb when Dom and Liv end up together, says Brony. Oh, hello, fly. God, there's been loads of flies this summer. The real plot twist would be Liv ending up with Carlito, said Dr. Lucha Lala. Everyone expects Dom to get with Liv. Expect the unexpected, said K-Dub. Yeah. I just don't know. I don't know which way they go. I just think there's lots of options. Daze, did Great American Bash need to be 2 nights? Feels like it's thin on both nights. Why not just make it quality goods? Well, I think it's because they're on Sci-Fi and they want people to tune in. So, like, they've had 3 championship matches this week. Obviously, we've got Ethan Page defending his title next week. I don't know if there's any other championship match, but yeah, I mean, what I would say is that they have stacked this more than a normal NXT with title matches and, you know, the Joe Hendry concert. But, you know, outside of that, it is just a normal episode. But yeah, they're, you know, listen, we know why they do these things. They do these things for a reason. And if they can make this out to be a big deal, and they can make it out like, oh, you don't want to miss this, anything can happen at Great American Bash, then, you know, the disruption of changing channels, you might just be able to counter that disruption a little bit. So do it this week, do it next week. I don't know if they're still on Sci-Fi the week after, or if that covers the Sci-Fi move. There's Sol Ruka doing the surfboards. No Kalani this week. I hope that mid-card title doesn't disappear. Yeah, I wonder if we get it. I wonder if we get it defended next week. Right, we've got Fallon in there driving Carmen back to the corner. Here's Jasmine. Working on the arm. It's going to be Liv and Rhea together. That'll be the swerve. What a swerve. What a swerve. Liv and Rhea as a... I tell you what, flipping internet would melt. The internet would flipping melt. One, two, shoulder up. Right now we've got Carmen in there with Jasmine. Carmen going back against the ropes. Kick coming into the face. And keeping her grounded at the moment. She goes over. That's lovely. What time are we looking at? 29 minutes. It's going to be Carlito and Liv against Rhea and R-Truth at Bad Blood, said Brony. Okay, let's end this poll. Here's Lola. Lola coming into the ring. Big boot there by Lola. Lola getting a great chant from the crowds. And JC in the ring. Kick coming in. Kick misses there by Lola. Chop coming in by JC. Chop coming back there by Lola. These chops being exchanged. Lola got JC against rope. Looking for a hip toss. No joy. Couldn't get it. Nice crucifix pin, but kick out by JC. Just got her up in the air. And she drops her down. So far, our first match got good 98%. Our second match got good 96%. Our third match was good 96%. And that last match was good 98%. So the in-ring action not really delivering so far tonight. 1, 2, kick out. JC, Jasmine, and Fallon taking on Sol, Lola, and Carmen. Carmen in there with JC. I'm looking forward to our main event. I mean, I don't expect Thea to win, but I'm just like you. I'm wondering, what do we get afterwards? She lands on her feet there. Kick coming in. Down goes JC. Down goes Fallon. Sol and Carmen working together. Fallon throwing in some big shots. Here's Lola. Bang! Big shot to the midsection. That looked good. Kick to the midsection. She goes to the outside. Here's Carmen through the ropes. Lands on top of JC. Now Sol's going up. Sol's going up. Moonsault to the outside. Whoa! She puts a twist in it. That looked great. That looked good. NXT. Was that JC? JC was on her back and her legs were like kicking out like a dying bug. What have they been doing with Andrade? I liked his match with Santa, said Jessica. They're running it back, are they not? Aren't they going to run it back? I don't know if that's this week. Picture-in-picture break, said Wrestling Fam. Mitchell said, holy beep. Jolene said, I think Joe Hendry will have a match. I agree. I don't know who with. I mean, Gallus, but who's going to be with him? What's your excitement levels for Daniel Garcia Lucha Bros coming to WWE? The news broke by SAP that WWE are interested. About as low as you could get. Lucha Bros are not to my taste. But then saying that, once you put them into the WWE system and you kind of maybe focus them a little bit more, perhaps you can make them a bit more palatable. I mean, look, everyone's got their own thing that they love about wrestling. For me, watching people do move, and it have no effect, and it's just move. Now I'm doing this. Now I'm doing this. Now I'm doing. It's like a showcase of all the moves they can do. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. I don't feel like I'm watching a match. I feel like I'm watching a show reel. I feel like I'm watching a wrestler just like show off how many moves they can do, rather than actually a back and forth, a proper contest, you know, a proper, you know, they're in a bit of peril here, and, you know, they're having to dig deep, and I don't know, the ebbs and the flows, the change in pace of a match as well. Sometimes it might slow down when you're struggling, and then, you know, you get a second wind, you come back. Like, all of those kind of elements are what go into a great match for me. You know, I've said before as well, like that moment where you do some flips and then you finally deliver. Well, that final delivery, it needs to hit hard. It needs to look good. And sometimes, like, the end delivery can be a bit wispy. It can lack a little bit of intensity. And so with them, I just find there's a few things like that I can watch their matches and go, yeah, I just don't think this is for me. So I can't say I'd be too excited to see them coming out. I mean, look, they're very impressive. If you love that style and you love that kind of, you know, aerial ability and agility and that lucha style, then you'll love them. But historically, that's not played well in WWE. There's not loads of luchas that have really, you know, achieved massive stuff in WWE. I think there is a WWE style, if we can tailor it. You know, if I was to talk to them, that's what I would say. And, you know, try and change the pace of your match a little bit more, mix that up a little bit more. When you finally deliver that final shot, make sure that's the thing you focus on more than the flips. People, I mean, look at Gunther and the chops that he lays in, the clotheslines. And if you do something and you do it really well, that means so much more than doing 10 things all right. One thing amazing that looks amazing, like a clothesline that takes someone's head off, that means so much more than just 10 things that look okay. So I definitely hope we could get him in and tweak that. But I'd give him a chance. I'd see what they bring. I mean, they're clearly very talented. There's no denying that. And Danny Garcia, I mean, Daniel Garcia is an interesting one because he's not someone that, I mean, the whole dance thing just was silly to me, but he's clearly someone that's talented, and I think you could get somewhere with him. I don't know if WWE feel like there's something there to work with. Yeah, let's go. You know, we brought in Ethan Page, we brought in Sean Spears, we brought in Brian Pillman Jr. If they bring in Garcia, then yeah, they might be able to get somewhere. So he would excite me more. Yeah, look. So there, you've got Sol. She springboarded off, she rotated, and then went for a double clothesline. But the actual impact of the double clothesline was weak AF. Right, yeah, we've got the women in each corner, and boom, hip attacks in each corner. Does he still do that dumb dance, said SP? I don't know, but I haven't watched anymore. I can only talk about when I last saw him, so he may have long abandoned that. It got him over, but I don't know. That's not the kind of... I think he's a really good wrestler. That's not the kind of thing that I would have looked to have done with him. Okay, here's Sol Ruka. She's going up. Fallon is down. Sol Ruka going up to the top. Daze, I checked out Tom Collihue's breakdown of the Wyatts. He did a great job. It's been a while since I've got some wrestling news, says Nathan. Yeah, seems like a good guy. Boom. Jasmine Nix bridging over. 1, 2. Pin is broken up. This match continuing. I would like to see Malachi come back, said Dr. Lucha Lala, but still okay if it doesn't happen. Yeah, I always liked him. I agree. I think AEW have got a lot of really good talent, a lot of talent which is maybe underutilized that you could really tap into. I mean, I feel like Powerhouse Hobbs could get somewhere in WWE. I feel like Wardlow could get somewhere in WWE. Maybe Daniel Garcia could get somewhere. I think they're doing a good job of realizing the potential of Takeshita. Feels like Takeshita has done well. But, you know, if he was someone that weren't really being used to his full potential, he'd be another one that you'd be like, I think they could get some out of him. But I think they're doing a good job there anyway. You know, I'd love to see Jamie Hayter coming over. I'd take Mariah May. I'd love to get Tony Storm back. Like, it ain't a lack of talent that AEW are struggling with. They've got a lot of good talent. Kick coming into the midsection. And again, against the ropes goes Carmen. She plants Jasmine to kick out. Tony would rather put on Jericho BS Learning Tree. I've not seen any of that. I've heard it's not great. Sap did a YouTube stream last night reviewing Raw. He mentioned NXT officials see Daniel Garcia in the same light as Ethan Page and he could be an NXT champion. Yeah. I wouldn't be against it, to be honest. I wouldn't be against bringing him in and having a look. I mean, in-ring wise, there seems to be something there. 1, 2, Fallon gets the pin and the win. And there we go. Okay. Get in your scores. What did you think about that match? I mean, they did a lot of stuff in there. There was cutters and suplexes and loads of stuff. Both teams went for it. I don't think everything landed, but that was fine. Okay, there's Kalani. Here's Tatum. I don't want to play with you or your dolls. Wendy was staring at Kalani. I wonder if we get that match made next week or anything. Here's Thea. Here's Roxanne. Thea Hale, Roxanne Perez. Live NXT Women's Championship next. But the big question is, do we get anything after Roxanne retains? At least the poetry books aren't selling. My metal CDs are not, says Akam. Have you got metal CDs out, Akam? Where are they available? Kian said, Wendy Chu, looking at the champ. I think Fallon is fine. She's a good wrestler, said Dave. Wendy is the best, said the Beach Kevin. William says, I mean, you are amazing for trying to bring us into the world of art and poetry. I'm guessing that's aimed at Sunny, because I don't feel like I've done that. James said, Kalani, what you looking at? Wendy should have said, not much. Wendy in the Wyatts, said TJF. Big Time said, does it feel like NXT is collecting AEW scraps like Ethan, Lexis, Spears, potentially Garcia? You compare that to WWE scraps Vince fired, AEW picking up Swerve, Malachi, Buddy, Keith Lee. I think it's difficult because I think we're talking about two different things. I mean, the people that Vince let go, I don't know that we would have let go of now. So decisions that were made in the past are maybe not decisions that would be made now. So I think it's hard to kind of compare. I think WWE, I don't think it's fair to refer to them as scraps. I think if WWE are looking at people that are becoming available and feel like they can get something out of them, then, you know, I can understand that being of interest to them. I mean, they bring a lot of people in through the Next In Line program, but you do want people that have got that actual wrestling experience as well. Like, you do need that mixed in. You don't want just Next In Line. Although the Next In Line program has been excellent. So I think where you've had like Carmelo get called up, you've had Bron get called up, you've had Kiana James get called up, you know, you've had a few Lyra get called up, you've had a few people get called up. So there's space now to kind of bring in some people. I think it's fine to look out there and see who's available. I mean, we've brought in Julia and Stephanie Vacour as well. They've been great signings. I mean, I haven't seen them yet, but, you know, they're big over in Japan. And there's a lot of excitement around them. Male-wise, well, we know they wanted Okada and they couldn't get him. We know they wanted Ospreay and they couldn't get him. So I feel like they have tried for some of the more exciting male talents, which they just have not been able to get. This is because I think of New Japan's relationship with AEW. I think a lot of people have worked in AEW that have been in New Japan. You know, we managed to get Hikuleo and Tamatonga, and I mean, look, getting Jacob Fatu might just top trump everything, mightn't it? That might just top jump everything. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You managed to get Jacob Fatu, and that's amazing. That's brilliant. But again, of course we could, because he's part of the Anoa'i family, and that family is so integrated with WWE. I think we could have got him a while ago as well, but I always thought his history was a problem. So I don't know. I think it's one of those where you just look at the landscape really, and you play it like you look at it where you are right now, and you go, well, I can only get who's available. So out of who's available, who do I think who interests me the most? I could understand them being interested in Daniel Garcia, but I don't think it's right to go, oh, we lost Malachi, we lost... That was a different time. That was a different regime. You might look at it and say it's frustrating, but it happened. You know, we were disappointed when they went. I mean, I was disappointed when we lost Dijak. I still don't get that. And that wasn't a different regime. So to lose the Dijak and get a Daniel Garcia, that doesn't really make much sense to me. But, I don't know. Bring them in. See how they do. If it doesn't work, don't work. There's Joe Hendry. A milestone in my career, and Gallus have ruined it. They're driven by jealousy. I'm driven by proving that I belong here. I'm going to force Gallus to believe in Joe Hendry. So, Joe Hendry competing next week. Also, next week, we've got Ethan Page against Oro Mensah. AEW got the better deal than WWE, said TJF. It was Nick Khan that took Dijak out, said Spartan Major. Yeah, it's a shame. I'm going to miss Dijak. Days for dinner tonight. I went to Chick-fil-A. Yes. Carmen, what did you have? What did you have at Chick-fil-A? Days, for me, the biggest missed opportunity was not getting Jay White. He had future megastar written all over him, said Big Time. I think that was one we wanted as well. Triple H has been a long fan of Jay White, but all that New Japan talent just has found its way to AEW, hasn't it? So, you know, if WWE had a relationship with New Japan, we would have, I think, stood a better chance, but I mean, it is what it is. This is why you've just got to look at the landscape as to who's available. Can't cry over spilt milk. You know, it is what it is. They've chosen to go where they've gone, and WWE is killing it at the moment in ratings and the business. There's an excitement around, some massive stuff on the horizon. We know Roman could be coming back, Rock, Cody. You know, we're going to start doing 2-day SummerSlams, maybe WrestleMania coming to London. I mean, it's just so exciting that, like, if they don't want to come and be a part of it, that's fine. Triple H said that, didn't he? If there's someone that doesn't want to come and be a part of this, I think he said it a bit more offensively. It was like, if they don't want to do the graft, then, you know, maybe they weren't right for us in the first place. Which I just feel is like the kind of thing you say whilst crying, you know. I really wanted him, but maybe it's right, he's not here anyway. But yeah, I agree. I mean, some of those would have been brilliant, but we always say that, like, AEW has got some fantastic talent. And Jay White would be one. Okada would be one. Ospreay would definitely be one. Jamie Hayter, Mariah May, Toni Storm, Mercedes. I mean, she main evented a WrestleMania. You might not be crazy about her as a person, but she's still like a star. She's still you know, someone that you'd rather have on your roster than not have on your roster. I'd take her back. I'd have. I mean, not my choice, but I'd have her back, of course. Sasha Banks, big star. Takeshita, he's done well. Chick-fil-A sells farts by the seashore, said William. Did Carmen say what he got? He said, I had an 8-piece grilled chicken nuggets with barbecue sauce, waffle fries, sweet tea in Indiana. Well, that sounds lovely. I've never been to Chick-fil-A, so mentally I'm just having to try and picture it. But it sounds lovely. I thought Joe Coffey was a hardcore band out of New York. Joe Coffey? It sounds like sounds like a small independent coffee shop, doesn't it? Big Time said apparently Dijak was let go. WWE PR got a hold that he's been spoon feeding dirt sheets. I heard that contested. I heard that wasn't true. He denied that, and Sean Rossap came out and went and said a load of nonsense. I don't know what the truth is on that one, but I heard that was saw that circulating around. You've never had Chick-fil-A? No, I don't think we have them in the UK. It might be one of those where there's like a few in the UK, but it's never. I've never even seen one in the UK. So I don't know if we do. Kick there. Oh no, I think we looked actually. It was one of those that we checked, and I think they've got like, I don't know, 40 restaurants or something. I mean, certainly know where I've been, and I think they're more recent as well. So maybe one day I'll get to go, but no, I've never been. Right, main events. Jay said Stephanie Vacourt is going to show up tonight with Jose the assistant. Thea versus Roxanne. Wow, what are we getting tonight? Jimmy said, I used to work at Chick-fil-A. Was it good? Were they all right to work for? We just have stupid KFC here, says Corey. Williams boards. Well, let's go Thea, let's go Roxy, let's go Thea, let's go Roxy. Dueling chants. Thea jumps over the top. That was good by Thea. She takes Roxanne over. She flips over. Thea against the ropes. Lovely. Roxanne goes over. Thea, yeah, boom. Suplex to the outside. Thea is on the outside of the ring. She's looking to go up. Roxanne is on the outside. Thea moonsaults down. Thea goes over to the championship. As we go to commercial break. Besides Cherville and Hammond, I also visited Crown Point, Merrillville, Gary Griffith, and Highland, Indiana. What do? Do you just visit places? Corey has tweeted. Oh my God, Corey has tweeted. What's he saying? Is it a different tweet? Corey has tweeted. Intentionally vague baseball tweet. Didn't mean to cause alarm. You guys were very nice though. Oh, I tell you, if I'm WWE, I'm not impressed. Intentionally vague baseball tweet. Didn't mean to cause alarm. You guys were nice though. Well, it's a good job. I like him. And I'm pleased that nothing's serious. So after all that drama, it was an intentional, vague baseball tweet. I got mixed feelings about that. Like, I'm really pleased that he's not going and that nothing's happened. But then part of me is like, oh, that's moody, man. To get everyone all worked up and then like a bit like worried, and that's moody. That's moody. And to do it during Great American Bash. Moody. I cried. I thought he was gone. I cried. I think my relief that he's not going is actually overpowering any other feelings. So it's good news. It's good news. But he's a douche for doing it. Fightful Select 6 hours ago said one source within WWE stated not to be surprised if you see some additions or alterations to the SummerSlam card. Oh, hello, Titus. Well, that's interesting. Brady, shout out to you. The Women's Championship has not changed hands over a decade at this event. I thought you meant on NXT TV. Popeye's chicken is the shiznit. Sap is a clown. Oh, why? What's he done? Popeye's wings any good? Never been to Popeye's. Corey Graves on trade deadline. Relax. Learn some baseball life, said Mr. B. That man had no soul. Have you seen his eyes? Whose eyes? I feel like I've missed conversation. You should trust me. I told you it was probably nothing. That Graves tweet said James. I know, but he had me worried. Oof, down goes Roxanne. Imagine Solo versus Cody moves to SmackDown and Wyatt 6 fight on SummerSlam. Swinging net breaker by Thea. Popeye Chicken is the shiznit. Oh, is CM Punk injured again, said Jake O. I don't know. I still feel like we get some at Wyatt 6, you know. Mr. B said today is the MLB trade deadline. I wouldn't know. I don't know. I wouldn't know. It's not covered. Baseball's not a thing over here. I think you can find it on the channels, but it's just not a thing. Break as Thea goes to the outsides. Dr. Lucha Lala said, honestly, SmackDown would need that match now. Through the ropes goes Roxanne. Down goes Thea. Oh, it'd be good to get a proper SmackDown again, wouldn't it? Like a proper show, not like the taped one that we had last week. Roxanne on the outside of the ring. Thea Hale with the suicide dive. Right, we're into the overrun. We are into the overrun. Thea is trying to get up top. Goes crossbody. Down goes Roxanne. Picks her up. Oh, driver, man. That was sick. Too. That was great by Thea. Thea with a driver. We're getting to the business end of this match. Lovely crossbody as well. Thea showing up. Showing off. In this championship match. Getting up to her feet. Grabbing Roxanne. Roxanne blocking that suplex. Thea goes back. Kick to the midsection. Pop rocks. Pop rocks. Pop rock. Oh, no. Backslides. Backslide by Thea. Oof. Got a 2. Kimura. She's trying. She's trying. She's got it. Lovely reversal. Real scramble into a crossface. Crossface by Roxanne. Roll through again. Oh! Into the Kimura again. Roxanne is really struggling, but again reverses into that crossface. It's really in. It's really in. Is Ridge going to put her foot on the rope? He said by any means necessary, didn't he? Wouldn't be shocked if he tried to help her. She doesn't need it, though. Thea powering up. She's got Roxanne on her shoulders. Oh! Rolls through. Springboard, sent on, into a cover, 2. Kick out by Roxanne. Good, really good. Really good. Crowd are really into it. Both women are battling away. And we've got a "This is awesome" chant. This is what NXT can deliver. Here we've got Roxanne holding onto that NXT ring apron. Rake of the eyes. Rake of the eyes by Roxanne. By any means necessary, says Booker T. By any means, he is defending what Roxanne is doing there. I think did she just do that? Did she just say you're a loser? Oh, into the ring post goes Roxanne. Into the ring post. Thea Hale has got the Kimura in. The Kimura is in. She's on top of Roxanne. They're rolling around on the ground. They're going to the edge of the ring. They spill to the outside. Into the ring steps goes Thea Hale. Oh, mate. Mate. No way did we think this was going to be this good. No way. Back in the ring goes Thea. In the ring goes Roxanne. Down goes Thea. Crossface by Roxanne. Is it? Oh, into a pin, though. I was going to say, is that a bridge too far? The Kimura again. Oh, my God. How many times is Roxanne going to get put in this Kimura? Ah, and how many times is she going to reverse it into a crossface? Wow. That Kimura into crossface. They must have done that 3 or 4 times. And neither woman tap him. Thea trying to get over to the ropes, Roxanne. She just can't put this girl away, but that might do it. Pop rocks. 1, 2, 3, and it does. Wow. Brilliant. Really, really good. Really fun match. Way better than I expected. Thea showing up, showing out. Tried so desperately to get that Kimura on. She managed, but Roxanne had a trick up her sleeve, and that was to reverse it into the crossface, which she managed to do successfully quite a few times. But there was no answer by Thea for that Pop Rocks. And there she is holding up that championship. Thea back in the corner. We've got the little trademark thing in the corner. Are we coming to an end? Ah, nothing happened after. There was no surprise arrival. That was it. That was it. Great match. Yeah, great match. Really good, but the ending was terrible. I can go... I don't know. I would understand if she'd kicked out of that Pop Rocks, but I'm all right with finishers being finishers. I'm all right with someone hitting their finishing move and then that's it. We do see a lot of finishers get kicked out of, so I can't really criticize to say that it should have took more than one Pop Rocks. I think Pop Rocks is a move that should be protected. I think a lot of finishers should be protected. I think we see too many kicking outs of finishers, but I don't know. In that scenario, should it have took more than one Pop Rocks? I could believe that Thea was absolutely shattered after all the effort she gave, and then boom, she gets hit with Pop Rocks, and boom, she loses the match as a result. That ending didn't ruin it for me, but I could understand people looking at it going, "No, I wanted a bit more," you know. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. The Thea heel turn is going to be coming soon by Ridge, said Dr. Lucha Lala. It was better than SmackDown the last 2 weeks, said Spartan Major. Great match. Pop Rocks is like a steady move, said TJF. They're called finishers for a reason, said James. Big Time said the submission into Pop Rocks is a smooth transition. She didn't sell the arm, said Kian. Well, afterwards. That's a good shout. She probably should have just sold the arm a bit, considering how many times she got put into a Kimura. I thought Thea was going to win, said Daniel. The finish was great, said I'm your father. Wanted a big finish. That would have made it perfect, said TJF. People are putting in their scores. And, yeah, I mean, we'll put a poll up. I did put a poll up for Raw earlier today. I'll put a poll up for NXT now. And, yeah, I will. I don't know if I'm going to do Unseen tonight or if I'll get it done tomorrow, to be honest. I mean, right now I'm not aware of anything massive. So maybe I'll leave it a little bit and then we'll kind of add in a few little talking points from tomorrow as well. But yeah, we'll get the poll up so that you lot can vote in the poll on the second channel. And I don't think we'll do opinions for NXT, but we will get something up on that second channel, probably the opinions for Raw. Get that done. So, right, we are done, my friends. I am going to love you and leave you. As I said, apologies for yesterday. It's one of those things that was not planned. My plan was to get back in time and to do the stream. But I've recovered. I'm all right. I'm alive. I'm back. And I will be back to full strength as well. So we are well on the way towards SummerSlam this weekend. Of course, we'll be live for that. It's already set up. So we'll be live for that. Obviously, we'll be live for SmackDown. We'll have a few members streams over the next couple of days. I will get some videos out over the next couple of days. But it's lovely to be back, and yeah, let's see what this week holds for us, shall we? So thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate all of the supports. And let me just check the super chats. We've got a couple to read. King Yeti said the winner of the match by submission, alcohol. Very good. Very good. Victory Christie said, what did Carmella do? We read that one. Yeah, that just turned out to be baseball related, so no panic there. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate the support, and I will see you again next time.